For the first time in American history, an avowed, openly proclaimed socialist has been elected as the mayor of America's largest city.
It's an absolute travesty.
And we're going to learn the hard way in New York City what socialism is.
I have friends of mine in New York. My phone is blowing up. They are officially depressed and scared.
I woke up feeling so sad today, but also just praying a lot, knowing that God is in control.
The Socialist Party is taking over the Democrat Party.
I think that the million people who voted for him were because he was viral. Clearly, all of them are sedated, and they are seduced by the clickbait that he is.
This is a lesson for the Democrat Party. They should have fought for their party. They never fought for their party. They catered to the radical left.
This is a terrible night for national democratic image.
Even I can see what this is about, and of course, I wanted my brother to win. I believe in my brother. I think he's a tremendous operator within government, but he's not what Democrats want right now in their party.
I consider him an absolute joke, and I look forward to him totally failing, but I am horrified at the prospect of his policies and his communism and his anti-Semitism.
But a lot of Jews voted for him.
33%.
And a lot of Jews voted for him.
And that breaks my heart.
This is going to be a crisis in the city of New York.
And you motherfuckers voted for him. What is wrong with you? Why, on God's green and watery earth, would you vote for a Muslim? A Muslim?
Hey, Curtis, you're a fucking scumbag, like I said all along, all of these months. You fucking got 8% of the vote. You split the fucking vote for the $7 million. You were a scumbag. I hope every New Yorker spits in your fucking face every single day. You fucking sold out like fucking Judas sold out fucking Jesus for the 30 fucking coins of silver. Go fuck yourself.
Curtis Sliwa, throw this election. Wake up, New York. Shame on you, Curtis Sliwa. You throw the election.
Moments ago, we heard a group of Cuomo supporters getting a bit restless. In fact, chanting, "Shame on Sliwa."
Shame on Curtis Sliwa. You fucked the whole fucking thing up. New York City. Fuck Sliwa. New York City. You fucked New York City.
That was just a small, tiny little taste of the meltdowns that ensued after Zohran Mamdani put the final nail in the coffin of Andrew Cuomo's career. And I promise you, that compilation doesn't even begin to scratch the surface, because the level of hysteria and cope that we're seeing online rivals that of the 2020 election. But I don't blame them for feeling sad and dejected, because yesterday really was a bad day for these losers. But it was an incredible day for everyone else, people with common sense, because Mamdani won. Democrats swept in virtually every single election, which is a really bad sign for Republicans going into 2026. And on top of that, Dick Cheney died. I mean, the universe has handed us multiple gifts, and I, for one, am truly grateful, because times like these don't come too often, these days. So join me in basking in the pure glory of the blessings that have been bestowed upon all of us. But let's start with some more anti-Mamdani meltdowns, because all of them were just pure gold. The Cut reports that centrist celebrity Deborah Messing had a full-blown meltdown on social media over Mamdani's win after she reportedly posted around 100 stories on Instagram within 24 hours, sharing racist memes, calling Mamdani an America-hating jihadist. She also implied that he was a terrorist and compared him to Osama bin Laden, and shared McCarthyist fear-mongering about him being a communist from conservative outlets like CPAC. She even quoted Breitbart, which echoed Trump's endorsement of Cuomo, encouraging people to vote for the serial sexual harasser and social murderer over Mamdani. And I've got to ask, Deborah, are we doing okay there? When was the last time you've gone outside and touched grass? Because this can't be healthy. But please, don't actually do that. Continue to stew away in your mansion and doom scroll on your phone, because I want these feelings that you're feeling of existential dread and sadness to accelerate, because I need more entertainment from you, Deborah. You're entertaining me now more than you ever could in your acting career. Just keep posting through it, you racist piece of shit, because it's very entertaining to me. But Deborah isn't the only celebrity to crash out over Mamdani's win, because Michael Rappaport, I kid you not, unironically posted this meme. I cannot believe this is real. After it was called for Mamdani in last night's election, and this is the meme that conservatives have been using for years to troll the libs, and it's now being used unironically to express unfathomable frustration over the election of a Democratic Socialist. I mean, inject this straight into my fucking veins, please. But there's more, because 50 Cent, who I believe is now going to be 49 cents after Zohran implements his 2% tax on the rich, posted this tombstone which reads, "Rip NYC." He's so melodramatic. Founded in 1624, died in 2025. And then we have Eve Fartlow, who tweeted, "And we're fucked," to which somebody responded saying, "Cope harder, bitch." And then she quote tweeted that person saying, "Zohran's voters." And then Temu Charlie Kirk, Brylan Hollyhan says, "Never forget, tonight New York forgot." And then closeted homosexual podcaster Jenny Bonson shared a picture of 9/11 saying basically the same thing. They forgot. Jack Unheard and a bunch of other dickheads shared the same Islamophobic bullshit. Tiffany Fong writes, "When I was little, I dreamed of living in NYC. Now I don't even want to visit. Oh no, whatever will they do without Tiffany Fong's presence?" Mike Lee says, "There is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about. Of all the terrifying words uttered by Zohran Mamdani, these might be the most startling. This is now the Democratic Party. Oh no, please don't solve people's problems. That'd be terrible." John Cardillo says, "Hope Curtis Sliwa is happy. His arrogance, ego, and decaying beanie handed the commie NYC." Man, he's catching strays left and right. Poor Sliwa. Will Chamberlain says, "We lost NYC because we lost control of our borders. Simple as." And then Anonymous responded to him saying, "No, you lost NYC because your ideology sucks ass." And he replied, "Trump is your president." And then he got ratioed. Johnny Maga says, "Never want to hear from Curtis Sliwa again." Pardon criminal George Santos, aka Katara, says, "Fuck you, Curtis Sliwa. I hate you, your dumb wife, that stupid beret of yours, and all your fucking cats." Failed actor Michael Knowles, who filmed a gay sex scene, says, "The saddest part is he'd never have won were New York full of New Yorkers." Oh, okay. But I've got to say, out of all the reactions, every one of us was waiting to see what billionaire Bill Ackman had to say. The dickhead who spent more than $1 million to stop Mamdani. He also whined endlessly. And everybody knew that he was having a pretty bad night. So the question was, how would he respond to this? Would he opt for the expected pants-shitting response on Twitter? Or would he try to play it cool and put on a brave face even though he's dying on the inside? And he surprisingly opted for the latter approach, writing on Twitter, "Zohran Mamdani, congrats on the win. Now you have a big responsibility. If I can help NYC, just let me know what I can do." So it appears as if he is officially bending the knee. And to that I say, good. But what I love most about this billionaire piece of shit acquiescing is the way that it enraged fascists. For example, look at how Steve Bannon reacted to Ackman's capitulation.
These are the kind of gutless cowards that turned New York City over to a Marxist jihadist. Okay, a Marxist jihadist. You know what they're going to do right now? They're going to bend the knee to it. They're going to grovel in front of this instead of standing in front. Can you read what Bill Ackman, the big hedge fund guy, just tweeted out to Mamdani?
Publicly, again, folks, see at Zohran K. Mamdani. Congrats on the win. Now you have a big responsibility. If I can help NYC, just let me know what I can do. You believe this? I mean, of course you do, because you know. But I hope voters now see the scam. The rest of the, the holdouts, maybe, what are you, 20% that aren't MAGA, see the scam. There it is.
Oh, delicious. I love it so much. Yummy in my tummy. And he read that tweet, by the way, so much better than I did. And to know that billionaires are sweating right now and them cowering in fear to a socialist enrages fascists, like that feeling that I'm feeling in response to this is going to fuel me until at least the weekend, possibly next month. We'll see. But the most passive-aggressive response came from genocide supporter Van Jones, who tone policed Mamdani in his victory speech after he won.
I think he missed an opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a little bit of a character switch here where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight. And there was some other voice on stage.
Hey, Van Jones, do us all a favor and shut the fuck up. You were just joking about dead babies in Gaza on Bill Maher's show. You don't get to tone police others for not being welcoming enough. Eat a dick, shithead. But even though what he said there pissed me off, it is glorious to see him struggle to contain his rage because he was very clearly seething as he was saying that. So I love to see that. Stay mad, Van Jones, you piece of shit. But the saltiest bitch in the entire country was, of course, Andrew Cuomo, who reportedly did not call Mamdani to congratulate him last night, as is customary. And this is according to Politico's Jeff Colton. And we could do this all day, but I have to force myself to move on because there's a lot of other non-Mamdani related election cope that I do want to get to, and I don't want this video to be as long as a feature-length film. So without further ado, here's a small sample of the screeching from the right about other elections and just in general how poorly Republicans performed.
And we got smoked.
Republicans did not have a good day. So anyone who says, well, not really that, but no, it was bad.
Shut down, shut down, shut down. That had a big effect on this election.
Glenn Youngkin, bro, what are you spending time in Iowa? You just ended your political career last night. As a native Virginian, you destroyed the Republican Party for a generation. There are seats in the House of Delegates that are unfathomable that could have been that were lost last night.
More. I want more. I want more. It's so good. It's so good. But the best part is knowing that so many right-wingers see the writing on the wall for 2026. Jack Posobiec tweeted, 2026 will be worse if we don't course correct. Cernabitch writes, Ted Cruz and Mark Levin are walking Trump into impeachments and then prison. 2026 will be a bloodbath. So I guess that he's blaming them for trying to remove the Nazis from their party. Okay. And President Neck Pussy himself chimed in to attribute his party's losses to him not being on the ballot. And he also blames the shutdown, which is a tacit admission that he knows that the shutdown is hurting Republicans more than it is Democrats. And he explicitly confirmed this, according to Andrew Desidario of Punchbowl News, who writes, inside the room, per multiple GOP senators, after reporters were kicked out, Trump said the election results showed that the shutdown has been worse for us than for them, and that Republicans are getting killed. Trump said the GOP will become a dead party if they don't nuke the filibuster. Trump got into it with Lindsey Graham after Graham tried to make the point that they can still use reconciliation to pass legislation with a simple majority. Trump snapped at Graham, saying, Lindsey, you and I both know that there's so much you can't do with reconciliation. Whoa there, Donald Trump. Don't be too mean to Lindsey Graham because we all know that he's a really sensitive boy. On second thought, go ahead, be mean to him, make him cry. But it's really nice to know that the worst people in the world are having a bad day. But I want to spotlight some commentary from Vivek Ramaswamy, a GOP culture warrior who's offering some advice to his party after last night's losses.
We got our asses handed to us in New Jersey, Virginia, and New York City. Democrats swept all three. There's two key lessons for Republicans. Listen carefully. Number one, our side needs to focus on affordability. Make the American dream affordable. Bring down costs, electric costs, grocery costs, healthcare costs, and housing costs, and lay out how we're going to do it. And number two, cut out the identity politics. It doesn't suit Republicans. It's not for us. That's the woke left's game, not ours. We don't care about the color of your skin or your religion. We care about the content of your character. That's who we are.
Vivek, Republicans can't focus on affordability because they don't serve working Americans. They serve the wealthy, which is why they do fixate on so-called culture war issues, because it sows division within the working class, which is good for oligarchs, and it distracts from their evil economic agenda. But I do find it interesting that he wants to stop focusing on identity politics all of a sudden now that the GOP's base is turning their attention towards him. See, it was all fun and games when trans people were the punching bag. But now that Indian Americans are increasingly targeted by right-wing fascists, Vivek wants to focus on economic issues and avoid identity politics. Interesting, isn't it? It's almost like issues he dismiss as culture war issues have a real-world impact on people's lives, materially as well. And it took him being targeted himself to find this out. It sounds like he's mad that leopards ate his face after he voted for the Leopards Eating People's Faces party. But speaking of leopards, Fox News is sounding the alarm over gerrymandering now that their effort to rig the 2026 midterms is starting to officially backfire.
Explain for our viewers why this matters so much and how the 40% of registered Republicans in California will have a voice if those seats are drawn to the Democrats' advantage.
Well, they'll certainly have a lot less of a voice if things go as Newsom plans. You know, he has explicitly stated that the whole point of this is to, quote, make California a whole lot bluer and to pick up 5 seats. So if that actually is how it played out, then we would have 4 out of 52 seats. That's about 7%. We get 40% of the vote in statewide elections. And they called this, Princeton University, the researchers at Princeton called this one of the 2 worst gerrymanders of the last 50 years. They gave it an F for fairness.
Well, ain't that a bitch? Maybe your party should have never initiated this race to the bottom in the first place. Because you see, they never expected Democrats to fight fire with fire, and I don't blame them, I didn't either, but they are. And guess what? That's your fucking fault, Republicans. When Democrats had power, they introduced federal legislation that would have ended partisan gerrymandering by requiring district lines to be redrawn by independent commissions in all 50 states. But guess what? Republicans did not support that. Moreover, Chief Justice John Roberts recently said that partisan gerrymandering is A-OK. So guess what? You are now having to lie in the beds that you made for all of us. And it's fucking you over too. Who would have thought? None of us wanted this, but if red states are going to rig elections against Democrats, blue states have no choice but to rig elections against Republicans to even the playing field. You started this, okay? Republicans have nobody to blame but themselves. And on that note, one of the biggest surprises of the night was when Democrat Jay Jones won Virginia's attorney general race in spite of a scandal that was so severe it could have tanked his entire campaign, but somehow it didn't. And to show you what I mean, there were text messages from him from a couple of years ago that leaked where he was basically justifying violence against his political opponents, saying if he only had 2 bullets for 3 people, including Hitler, Pol Pot, and the GOP's House Speaker at the time, he'd shoot the GOP's House Speaker twice, which is a reference to a meme from The Office for those who don't know. He also implied that he was fine with the aforementioned GOP Speaker's children dying because personal pain is the only way to get people to take action on policy when it comes to gun violence, for example. He also accused them of breeding little fascists. Now, after this story broke, he apologized and called his past comments a grave mistake. Nonetheless, his electoral victory shook some Republicans to their core. Matthew Van Swoll, for example, writes, hundreds of thousands of Democrats just voted into office for Attorney General, a man who fantasized about the murder of his political opponents and their children. Democrats just endorsed assassination culture. I don't know where we go from here. Molly Hemingway echoed that same sentiment, writing on Twitter, as bad as Jay Jones is, knowing that my neighbors genuinely support him as AG while wishing death on Republicans and their children is far worse. Nate Fisher says they hate you and want you dead. Tim Pool adds, the election of Jay Jones is a direct threat to every right-leaning person in the state and surrounding areas. And let me just say for the record, I actually do understand where Republicans are coming from, because if I saw a Republican get elected as Attorney General after he talked about killing Democrats, I would be equally dismayed, admittedly. And to be clear, I don't stand by what he says. I unequivocally condemn those text messages from Jay Jones because I think that political violence isn't going to further the left's goals. If anything, it's going to be used as a justification for even harsher authoritarian crackdowns. With that being said, Republicans, again, have nobody to blame for this but themselves, because they are the ones who lowered our collective standards so that way no scandal is too scandalous for public office these days. They elected a corrupt criminal rapist after he incited an insurrection to overthrow the U.S. government. Nothing matters anymore because of Republicans. So if you're willing to overlook all of the flaws of your preferred candidate, then you shouldn't be surprised that Democrats are now doing the same, given the threat that Republicans pose. Like, do you think that Jay Jones would have been electorally viable in 2008 or 2014? Of course not. He would have resigned in disgrace. But you've created a political environment where voters reward politicians for being the biggest pieces of shit imaginable. So this is your doing, MAGA. You have nobody to blame but yourselves for these types of politicians getting elected. And on top of that, it is wild to see these rich, privileged pricks pretend as if they have to fear for their lives because extremist Democrats are going to hunt them down and kill them. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Despite what Jay Jones said in that text message, we don't want you dead. We might not respect you, but we don't want you dead. We want to give your dumbasses healthcare and a habitable planet and clean drinking water and education and education and education and more education. And did I mention education? We want to give you the things that you need that will better your lives. You are the ones who want everyone else worse off. And it's ironic for them to cry about how, oh, they want us dead, when this is the exact sentiment expressed by you towards us. You don't give a fuck if women bleed out because they can't get abortions in red states. You literally use genocidal rhetoric that's comparable to the way that the Nazis talked about Jews during the Holocaust when you're referencing trans people. You justify mass killings against queer people because they're groomers. We remember what you said after the Club Q shooting, Tim Pool. You thought we forgot? You also blame everything but guns in the aftermath of mass shootings, to the point where kids now have to do routine mass shooter drills like we're at war or some shit. You also routinely call for violence. Just go look at Matt Walsh's Twitter feed. You post cry-laughing emojis under videos of immigrants getting violently ripped from their fucking homes. You are celebrating people losing food stamps right now. Like, your party is getting overrun by Holocaust-denying, Hitler-loving Nazis as we speak, but yet you think that we're the ones that want you dead after all of the shit that you've said and done towards us? From our perspective, it seems like you're the ones who want us dead. At best, you want us to live miserable lives where we're impoverished and perpetually oppressed, and gay and trans people are forced to go back into the closet, and black people have to accept their status as second-class citizens forever. And at worst, you just want us dead. Like, the radicalization of the Democratic Party's base is a direct result of the threat that you fascists pose to the rest of society. Our extremism is a response to your extremism. But every accusation is a confession, after all. So when they say that Democrats want them dead, we should take that as an implicit admission that they want us dead, because they do. Let's be real. They're the ones who want us dead. But I'm going to try to not let their disingenuity piss me off too much, because, again, this is a good day. It's a bad day for fascists, so that means it's a good day for everybody else. It's also a bad day for dumbass centrists like Deborah Messing as well, although I don't know if she's a centrist any longer. So cry more Republicans and centrists, because yesterday's blowout is a testament to how badly you've all fucked up the country. Both fascists and neoliberals have fucked up the country, and now the chickens have come home to roost. Cope and seethe, motherfuckers.
Alpha male, not a beta male.